GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Montreal. I'm CJ Waterhouse. A man was found unconscious after an evening altercation on the plateau, and the health department just warned schools about Serena, Quebec materials. Expect heavy traffic from roadwork and incidents, and later a Colombian Independence Day celebration downtown. Over to you, Jeff.
Zumba class kicks off Saturday at Parc La Fontaine, free for all ages, with instructor Maria Lopez leading a 30-minute warm-up followed by rhythmic cardio.
The session runs from 10 a.m. to noon, and after the workout, a smoothie station provided by Café du Coin offers fresh fruit blends for participants.
Attendees need only a water bottle and comfortable shoes. Registration is optional via the city's community portal, though spots typically fill quickly on weekend mornings.
Lots to get to. Let's dive into the day's updates and start our lunch break together, fresh and focused. Good morning, Montreal.
Police responded to a report of a disturbance on a street in Plateau Mont-Royal early this morning. Officers found a man lying unconscious near the intersection of Rue Saint-Denis and Avenue du Montreal, after what witnesses described as a brief altercation between two parties. Emergency crews were summoned, and the victim was stabilized before being transported to a nearby hospital for further evaluation. No arrests have been announced, and investigators are reviewing surveillance footage to determine the circumstances that led to the incident. The borough, known for its dense residential streets and vibrant nightlife, has seen occasional street confrontations, but police emphasize that any escalation poses a risk to public safety. Residents were advised to avoid the immediate area while officers continued their investigation. The investigation remains ongoing as officers piece together the sequence of events and assess whether additional resources are needed to ensure neighborhood calm.
Montreal Public Health will issue a formal caution to every school in the city today, warning against the use of reproductive health education kits supplied by the nonprofit Serena, Quebec. Officials say the materials contain sections that could spread inaccurate facts, generate confusion among students, and provoke unnecessary anxiety. The health department, which routinely reviews health-related content used in classrooms, flagged the Serena resources after a detailed audit revealed several claims inconsistent with provincial guidelines. School boards are being asked to halt distribution immediately and to replace the kits with resources vetted by certified medical professionals. Parents will receive a notice outlining the specific concerns and offering alternatives for age-appropriate sex education. The department stressed that protecting young people from misleading information is essential to maintaining mental well-being and public health standards.
Earlier today, a league match between the Montreal Roses and Toronto AFC ended in a shutout, as the Roses failed to register a single goal. The game, played in Montreal, concluded with Toronto AFC walking away with all 3 points, while the home side was left scoreless. The result marks a disappointing setback for the Roses, who entered the contest hoping to capitalize on home field advantage. Toronto AFC's defense held firm throughout the 90 minutes, limiting Montreal's attacking options and securing a clean sheet. The loss drops the Roses in the standings and intensifies pressure on the coaching staff as the season progresses. Fans in the arena witnessed a quiet night of soccer, with few clear-cut chances and a final whistle that underscored the gap between the two clubs in this particular encounter.
Quebec has refused to sign the interprovincial agreement that would let wineries, distilleries, and breweries ship alcohol directly to consumers in other provinces. The province's decision leaves it outside a nationwide pact currently being prepared by the federal government and 9 other provinces. Officials said Quebec wants to keep its existing distribution model, which relies on provincial liquor boards, and fears the new system could undermine local retailers. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture highlighted the potential benefits of a unified market, including lower prices and greater choice for shoppers across the country. Negotiators from the 9 participating provinces expressed disappointment but indicated talks will continue in hopes of reaching a consensus. Quebec's stance means the cross-border direct sale framework will not take effect here while the rest of Canada moves forward.
Today, a heartfelt tribute celebrated Oliver Jones, the city's most revered jazz pianist, for his unrivaled skill and lifelong commitment to mentoring emerging talent. The ceremony, held at a historic venue in the heart of the island, highlighted his virtuoso touch, quiet generosity and the humility that has defined his decades-long career. Musicians of all ages shared anecdotes of how Jones opened doors, offered private lessons, and inspired countless rehearsals, reinforcing his reputation as a teacher as formidable as his improvisations. Organizers presented a special plaque recognizing both his artistic achievements and his role in shaping the next generation of jazz voices. Attendees, ranging from seasoned bandleaders to bright-eyed students, applauded the legacy of a man whose piano has long been the soundtrack of Montreal's vibrant music scene. The evening underscored the city's dedication to cultural heritage, and city officials said the support secures the artistic future.
Coming up, we'll see how Victoire's Finnish forward Michelle Karvinen could ignite a winning stretch. Plus more after the break. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for staying with us. Let's dive into today's local stories with Jeff Laflamme. We've got some compelling updates you won't want to miss.
Montreal Victoire announced yesterday that they have secured Finnish forward Michelle Karvinen on a one-year contract. Karvinen arrives with a resume that includes 3 Olympic medals and the record for most points ever by a Finnish player in the Women's World Championship, tallying 62 points, 25 goals, and 37 assists in that tournament. Her scoring pedigree adds a proven offensive option for a Victoire squad looking to boost its attack as the season heads into its decisive stretch. Local fans can expect to see her quick decision-making and veteran poise on the ice, qualities that helped her lead Finland to multiple podium finishes. The club's front office sees the signing as a way to blend experience with the team's younger core, hoping the added firepower translates into more wins for supporters this year.
CF Montreal is gearing up to face Inter Miami CF with a game plan that blends tight defending and forward pressure. Coach has emphasized a balanced shape, urging the back line to stay compact while the midfield pushes higher to support the attack. The approach aims to curb the creativity of Lionel Messi and his teammates, whose speed and skill have troubled many opponents. Fans can expect a lively atmosphere at Stade Saputo as the club looks to turn the challenge into an opportunity, with ticket sales already brisk for tomorrow's kickoff and the Sunday follow-up. The team's strategy reflects a desire to stay competitive on both ends of the field, giving supporters a chance to see a disciplined yet dynamic performance against one of the league's most exciting attacks.
Police recover third vehicle linked to Niagara Falls shooting in Quebec. On July 23, police in Quebec announced the recovery of a third vehicle believed to have been used by 2 suspects to flee the Niagara Falls shooting. The recovered automobile is identified as part of the suspect's escape plan, joining 2 previously seized cars, a white Nissan Rogue and a Mazda CX-5. Authorities confirmed that the 3 vehicles are linked to the same incident, prompting a coordinated investigation across the provincial border. The ongoing inquiry focuses on the 2 individuals who remain at large. Police emphasize that the latest seizure further constrains the suspects' movements and supports the broader effort to reconstruct the events surrounding the Niagara Falls shooting. The vehicle was located in a rural area of Quebec, Canada, after a multi-agency search.
Yesterday, the National Football League tapped Quebec duo Engen de Poitrine for a TikTok countdown that built excitement for the upcoming season. Their track played over a rapid-fire montage as the league marked the final days before kickoff, and the clip quickly racked up views among fans scrolling through short-form videos. For the pair, known for their blend of indie pop and francophone lyrics, the placement offered a rare national spotlight, linking their sound to the buzz around the 2026 campaign. The NFL's social media team regularly pairs big-time sports moments with fresh music, and this collaboration underscores how local artists can ride the wave of a major American sports promotion. Montreal listeners spotted the familiar chorus in their feeds, turning a routine hype video into a moment of hometown pride.
Health authorities confirmed that the province is experiencing a surge in cyclosporosis infections, with cases now almost 4 times higher than the previous year. The spike was first noted yesterday afternoon, following a broader outbreak of the intestinal parasite across the United States. Officials say the pathogen spread northward is driving the sharp increase, prompting clinics to brace for a higher volume of patients presenting digestive symptoms. Laboratories are accelerating testing to differentiate cyclosporosis from other gastrointestinal illnesses, while hospitals are reviewing treatment protocols to manage the rising caseload. The Public Health Agency has issued an advisory urging anyone with prolonged diarrhea, abdominal pain, or fever to seek medical attention promptly. Researchers continue to monitor the situation, noting that the outbreak remains active and could affect more residents in the weeks ahead.
Now let's turn to our forecaster for the afternoon outlook, right here on the lunch break.
A dominant high over eastern Canada squeezes the jet, locking in warm air and a dry afternoon. On this date, Montreal's thermometer peaked at 32.3 degrees Celsius back in 2025, a record set during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the surrounding region into the upper 30s. The cold counterpart fell to 10.4 degrees Celsius in 2013, when a deep Arctic air mass slipped south behind a stalled front, turning the city into a winter outpost. By contrast, today's climatological normals sit around 23 degrees high and 16 low, underscoring how today's warmth sits comfortably between those extremes. The live radar shows a completely clear echo across southern Quebec, confirming the absence of any rain bands. With the high-pressure dome expanding eastward and the mid-level jet streaming at 66 kilometers per hour from the west, moisture remains locked north of the St. Lawrence. That stable, subsiding air guarantees dry conditions through the afternoon, and the next wave of clouds will not arrive until after sunset. With the radar quiet, let's shift to today's outlook. At noon, the city sits at 20 degrees with a clear sky and a humidity of 57%. A high-pressure ridge dominates, but it is beginning to ease, allowing the jet stream at 66 kilometers per hour to drift a touch farther south and introduce a modest lift. That subtle change will nudge temperatures toward a high of 27 degrees by mid-afternoon while keeping the air fairly dry. The UV index reads 6, and gusts will reach 27 kilometers per hour from the south, feeling brisk on exposed surfaces. Winds later shift to the southwest, topping at 19 kilometers per hour, well below the threshold for a wind advisory. No active weather alerts are in effect, so the day remains uncomplicated as we move toward evening. Looking ahead, Saturday will climb to a scorching 30 degrees with a low of 16, the sky remaining clear as the ridge strengthens. Sunday stays warm at 29 degrees high and 19 low, also under clear skies, giving the weekend a prolonged heat spell. Monday introduces a hint of moisture. Temperatures hold at 27 high and 20 low, but a 30% chance of rain will bring occasional showers in the afternoon. Tuesday shifts to a fully wet pattern, the high reaching 28 while the low stays at 20, and a 65% rain probability will produce steady rain through much of the day. Wednesday finally cools to a high of 24 and a low of 20, with light rain lingering under a 65% chance, marking the end of the wet stretch. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll update you on traffic, preview the Just for Laughs gala with Atsuko Akatsuka, and note the Habs associate coach. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Morning commuters, the biggest slowdown is a major blockage at Dorval Roundabout, where a multi-vehicle collision has shut 2 of the 4 entries. Expect queues to build for at least 15 minutes and a spillover onto Autoroute 24 eastbound. The second major choke point sits on Daiquiri Expressway near the Turcotte interchange. Lane closures for resurfacing forced traffic onto collector lanes, adding 10 to 20 minutes during peak flow. Minor hindrances are reported on 55E Avenue and at Laurentides interchange, moving at a crawl rather than a standstill. Construction adds friction. Bonaventure Expressway is under phased lane reductions. Louis Hippolyte LaFontaine Tunnel is being refurbished, and a lane on Clement Bridge remains closed for deck repairs. Overpass work near Highway 520 and street maintenance between Gouin and Henry Bourassa are also in progress. All transit routes are operating normally, so the subway remains the fastest option for those who can avoid the road gridlock.
Tonight the city lights up with the Just for Laughs gala starring Atsuko Akatsuka at Theater Maisonneuve in Place des Arts, a one-night stand-up showcase that promises belly laughs from a comic who's taking the world by storm and draws a city-wide audience. Later, the Esplanade Louvain comes alive for the Colombian Independence Day celebration, with music, food vendors, and cultural activities from 5 to 10 p.m., a perfect chance to taste South American flavors right on the street as families gather to celebrate. If you're looking for art now, head to Time Out Market where Cirque du Soleil's Echo exhibition turns the space into a free, photo-filled tribute to the troupe's iconic moments, perfect for a quick selfie. Looking ahead, Sunday brings Picnic Electronic on Isle St. Helene, the weekly electronic music party that turns the park into a sunrise dance floor, ideal for a weekend vibe, and the energy rolls into the afternoon with food trucks and chill zones. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's hockey moves and rising prospects this week. The Canadiens announced the addition of Derek Lalonde as associate coach, a move hailed by former defenseman Aaron Ward as shrewd. The hire comes as the club reshapes its staff during the offseason, while forward Jet Greaves secured a 3-year, $15 million contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The new PWHL franchise Montreal Victoire has signed veteran forward Michel Carvinen to a 1-year standard player agreement. The 36-year-old, a former first-round pick of Vancouver, brings seasoned scoring and leadership to the fledgling roster as the club builds its inaugural lineup. Prospects Ivan Demidov and Alexander Zhuravsky stole the spotlight at the LSHL Summer Game, showcasing the depth of Montreal's development pipeline. Their performances were highlighted alongside the Laval Rockets' 10-year anniversary Teddy Toss celebration at the Bell Center, underscoring a promising future for the organization.
Lambert & Phil's in Mile End has been a family-run staple for generations, offering everything from vintage linens to handcrafted kitchenware that locals swear by. Today the shop faces a new hurdle. Recent United States tariffs on imported goods have lifted the cost of the very items that make the store unique. Those higher expenses threaten to push prices beyond what longtime neighborhood shoppers can afford, putting the shop's signature affordability at risk. It's a vivid reminder that global trade decisions can echo down our own streets, reshaping daily life for small businesses and the communities they nurture. For Montrealers, Lambert & Phil's isn't just a store, it's a piece of our shared heritage, a place where neighbors meet over timeless pieces. Stay tuned for a heartwarming tribute to Montreal jazz legend Oliver Jones, celebrating his talent and mentorship right after this.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
The championship-winning Montreal Victoire turned streets into a parade, marching from Verdun along St. Catherine to a fan-fest finale at Le Parterre in the Quartier des Spectacles. Crowds cheered as the team lifted the Walter Cup. The celebrations spilled onto the city's main boulevard, drawing families and music lovers alike. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. The crowd ripples along St. Catherine Street, a sea of blue and white scarves fluttering as the Montreal Victoire parade rolls past the cafes and street musicians. The band's drums pound, echoing off the historic stone facades, while a marching line of players in crisp jerseys toss confetti into the air. I can hear cheers rise with each pass of the championship trophy, the gleam of the Walter Cup catching the afternoon sun. Families clutch homemade signs, kids on shoulders wave foam swords, and local vendors sell steaming poutine and maple glazed pretzels to cheering fans. The route snakes between Bleury and Clark, then opens onto Le Parterre, where a stage lights up and city's skyline frames a jubilant fan fest. As the final notes fade, the crowd erupts in a unified chant, a reminder that sport can turn ordinary streets into a shared celebration of community pride. This victory stitches together generations, turning strangers into teammates for a single, unforgettable afternoon. Carl Dumont virtually at Le Parterre.
On a bright Saturday morning in the Plateau Mont-Royal, a small group of families gathered around a pop-up information table outside the colorful mural on Rue Saint-Denis. They were there to hear representatives from the Autorité Régionale de Transport Métropolitain explain a new vision for the city's transit future. As the REM nears completion, the agency unveiled 8 priority zones that will be studied for the next major public transport project, ranging from the historic Little Burgundy neighborhood to the growing borough of Verdun. One resident, a longtime bus driver named Marie, shared how the prospect of new rapid rail lines could finally connect her teenage son's school in the east with his after-school soccer practice on the west side without a long bus ride. The planners responded with a promise to listen to community stories and map routes that cut travel time and bring neighborhoods closer together. By the time the sun slipped behind the St. Laurent, the crowd left with a sense that their voices mattered and that the next chapter of Montreal's transit story will be written with them at the table. Montreal's future feels a little brighter today.
On a quiet stretch of Rue St. Laurent in Montreal's West End, the limestone facade of Villa Maria Estate watches the traffic roll by, its iron gates still open for the students of Villa Maria College who shuffle between classrooms in the summer light. The property, built in the late 19th century, has been a backdrop for generations of concerts in the garden and Saturday art workshops, its marble staircase echoing the footsteps of aspiring musicians. This week the owners placed a for sale sign on the front lawn, but with a clause that any new buyer must honor the existing lease that keeps the college's doors open for the next decade. Neighbors gathered on the stone patio, sharing stories of how the estate's courtyard has become a sanctuary for seniors who practice tai-chi under the maple canopy. While the market may change hands, the community's quiet confidence is that the spirit of learning will remain rooted in those historic walls. In the end, the estate's next chapter will be written by those who cherish its past as much as its future.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. Tonight's tribute to jazz legend Oliver Jones reminded us of the city's rich musical heritage. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. See you then and have a great afternoon.